There's something magical about finding an object that doesn't quite belong. It's as though the universe itself has handed you a puzzle, a thread to pull, unraveling mysteries you didn't even know existed. For Evelyn Sinclair, a small brass key was that very thread. It began on the simplest of mornings. Evelyn was out for a walk, the sound of crunching leaves beneath her boots accompanying her as she strolled through Larkspur Ridge, a forest that bordered her sleepy village. She wasn't looking for anything special, but then again, that's often when the most extraordinary things happen. As she stopped by an ancient oak tree, its roots burrowing deep into the earth like frozen waves, something small and shimmering caught her eye. It was half buried among the moss and soil. Evelyn knelt down and carefully brushed the dirt away until she uncovered it, a tarnished brass key, sturdy yet delicate and impossibly intricate. Its bow formed the shape of a curling vine, and the bit was etched with symbols she didn't recognize. Who had left it there? And where had it come from? For Evelyn, questions like these weren't just curiosities, they were invitations. The key was intriguing enough on its own, but that wasn't all. When Evelyn held it in her palm, she could almost feel its weight, like it carried more than mere brass. Perhaps it carried purpose, destiny, a lock. She slipped it into her pocket and continued walking, her mind swirling with the possibilities. Evelyn spent the next few days trying to make sense of her discovery. She showed it to the shopkeeper in town, Mr. Calloway, who prided himself on knowing every antique and artifact imaginable. Yet even he was baffled. "It's old," he said, squinting through his spectacles at the carvings. "But I've never seen one like this before. Likely handmade. But by whom? I couldn't say." Next came Evelyn's search of the town itself, a quiet village where history lingered in its cobblestone streets and ivy-covered buildings. She checked every door she could, every lock, wondering if the key might fit. But door after door, lock after lock, Evelyn faced disappointment. No one recognized the key, and nothing it touched seemed to yield. It wasn't until the following week that things took an unexpected turn. Evelyn had almost given up her search when she heard a snippet of conversation while browsing through the town library. Two elderly women were exchanging stories about Larkspur Ridge, about how long ago the forest had been rumored to hold peculiar wonders, hidden trails, enchanted objects, and even a door that led to nowhere. "A door that led to nowhere," Evelyn murmured. The librarian glanced at her curiously, but she didn't say more, not yet. Evelyn felt the weight of the brass key in her pocket. Could this be it? Was there truly a hidden door in the forest, waiting to be unlocked? And so, Evelyn returned to Larkspur Ridge under the pale light of dawn. She wandered deeper this time, tracing her steps until the oak tree appeared like a guardian of her memories. She'd walked here dozens of times before, but on this day, Evelyn noticed something new, a faint path that extended from the tree and disappeared farther into the thick woods. She hadn't seen it before, or perhaps she hadn't been meant to see it, until now. Evelyn followed the path. It twisted and narrowed, the foliage closing in around her like an emerald tunnel. The farther she went, the more the terrain shifted. The earth became smoother, as though it had been deliberately carved. The air grew cool and still, the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves fading into silence. And then there it was, a door. It stood alone, tucked into the side of a rocky cliff. Weathered wood and iron hinges, its surface adorned with carvings so similar to the ones etched into the brass key that Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. She approached cautiously, running her fingers over the markings. They felt ancient, heavy, powerful. Could this be the lock the key had been destined for? The brass key fit perfectly into the door's lock, as though it had been waiting for her all along. Evelyn hesitated, her heart pounding. What would happen if she turned it? What was beyond this forgotten threshold? Destiny? Danger? Answers? With trembling hands, Evelyn twisted the key. The door groaned open, its hinges creaking like they'd been frozen for decades. Beyond it lay a realm unlike anything Evelyn had ever seen. Soft twilight bathed rolling hills of crystalline grass, stars shimmered in a lavender sky, and impossibly tall trees stretched toward infinity. Gentle, glowing creatures floated just above the ground, creatures Evelyn could barely comprehend. It wasn't just another world, it was a feeling, wonder, possibility, home. Evelyn stepped through the door. Now, she wasn't just holding a piece of the puzzle, she had become part of it. As the door whispered shut behind her, she realized she didn't need to understand everything yet. Some mysteries, she thought, are best unraveled in their own time. But one thing was clear. Evelyn had found exactly what she hadn't known she was searching for, and she wasn't planning to ever look back.